Welcome back to the Paranormal Classroom, where we take attendance for the unexplained. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Lindsay, and we're two teacher moms talking about stuff that freaks us out. Hey scholars, it's Lindsay here. If you'd like to skip the What's Haunting Us section today and jump right into Amanda's story, jump to 4 minutes and 30 seconds, and you can bypass all of our shenanigans where we just talk about ourselves and get right into the story. Have a spooky evening or day or wherever you are. Anyways, thank you for listening.
What's haunting you?
Okay. Let's see. Well, I almost died yesterday.
I know.
No, I didn't. That's
wanna share
very
that story?
dramatic. Sure. I'll keep it PG. I had a sudden and severe drop in blood pressure yesterday, tied to my monthly cycle, which is highly unusual. And I almost passed out in my classroom. I got really hot and sweaty. It was panting and couldn't get my breath. Thought I was going to faint. Got scared that I was going to scare 7-year-olds. And so I very rudely and brusquely shooed them out of my classroom like 10 minutes early. So they were all confused. And I didn't go to the EMTs, the paramedics showed up to school, which is always, whatever the opposite of like normal is. So that happened yesterday. I'm fine. I'm totally fine. It's the change in my life. So I'm sure it's tied to being perimenopausal. And the fact is that we women do not talk about these things that go on with our bodies enough. It's the medical world and everything is very patriarchal and men-centered. And then women, I feel like we're just kind of culturally just taught like our down theres are like the pit of despair. Like we don't talk about it. Weird things happen and we just think it's us. When really it's not. There's so many normal things.
I totally agree. Women make up 51% of the planet. I don't know why we just don't. We're the majority. I
think that's because there's been so much male fragility that make us that want to, like, historically, right, to keep power when they're the minority. They had to do things to make us feel less than.
Mm-hmm.
And so when really we're the creators of life, right, damn it.
Right.
And that's intimidating to those who are easily intimidated. So if you can make that, the whole women's reproductive system, a scary, mysterious, yucky thing, well, then nobody's going to talk about it.
It's witchcraft.
A lot of shame involved, right? And there doesn't need to be. So, things with trying to get pregnant, avoiding getting pregnant, having a baby, post-pregnancy, hormone changes in life, your periods, all sex-related stuff, nobody really wants to talk about it. And it's hard to talk about. But if we all just realize it's hard to talk about, but we have to talk about it, we would. And since what happened to me, everybody's talking about stuff in my staff lounge.
Good.
At work.
That's good.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Tell your daughters, tell your friends, ask questions, share your stories. There's a lot of power. It's its own little Me Too opportunity.
It is. I like that. Okay, what's haunting me is I've been really back on like the UFO research kick the last few weeks.
Okay.
And I just watched this documentary on Amazon Prime called The Program,
Ooh.
which is a really good documentary where they interview and talk about a lot of the military people who are having sightings of, they call it UAP, unexplained aerial phenomena. And there's a lot, and I feel like they're really trustworthy witnesses, because in the military, aren't they trained to like be good at observing things?
Oh my gosh, they have to have so many, and they're trained and they have psychological evaluations and especially those high level pilots, they have a lot of training and intellect. They're smart.
It's a good documentary, and it's very current, so I recommend it if you want to be.
The Program.
All
right. Well, I love UAP stuff too, so. Okay, as promised, here's Amanda's story. Buckle up.
Imagine signing up for a haunted house only to find yourself trapped, tortured, and pushed to your breaking point, mentally and physically. In this episode, we'll learn about McKamey Manor, where fear is taken to terrifying extremes, and the line between horror and reality fades. We'll explore this chilling history of this controversial attraction, the man behind it, and the disturbing experiences of those brave, or reckless enough to step inside. Please note this episode contains discussions of extreme psychological and physical distress, including themes of torture, abuse, and consent. Listener discretion is advised.
I'm out. I don't know who's co-hosting this episode, but I'm out.
Okay, here we go, scholars. It's my night. It's my story. And Lindsay is either going to love this or she's going to hate it.
Because I'm so drained.
I don't think you'll fall asleep on this one. I just don't think there's an in-between 11. You're either going to love it or you're going to be mad at me.
Oh, I'm excited. That's even more exciting. I don't know if I've ever been mad at you. I don't even think it's possible.
Well, let's get into the story.
Okay. Oh, shoot. Okay. Buckle up.
Okay. How do you feel, Lindsay, about haunted houses?
Oh, God. Well, I have mixed feelings. My favorite ride at Disney is the Haunted Mansion.
For sure.
Followed very closely by Pirates of the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
So I love them in theory, but I know what to expect. That's all pretend. It's not like an actual haunted house, at least not as far as I know. Although if you could scatter my ashes there, that would be huge.
Oh,
but they don't like it when you do that. They vacuum it up every day just to be sure. So
are you okay with that?
I don't want to just be in the vacuum in like a Disney, closet.
Because I'm thinking I'll figure out a way, but if you want me to.
Let's talk about that because now that would be fun. Okay, so haunted houses like
the
attractions.
Yes.
Oh God,
the
no.
Entertainment.
If you, I try not to drop an F-bomb. If you touch me, I am going to throat punch the crap out of you, and I don't care if you're a child. If you pop out of around a corner at me, or jump scare me, or rip roar a chainsaw in my direction, there's no way. I would never pay money to be scared out of my wits.
Right.
I've been an actor in haunted houses.
Oh.
That's fun. But then I'm on the other side of the control.
Right.
Nope. I'm not.
I know you don't like them. I knew you didn't like them, which is why I'm thinking
like
you're going to hate this story. No, I have a true fear that someone's going to hurt me in a haunted house, and I mean like stab me or something, and I'll be screaming out for help, and everyone will be like thinking it's part of the show. What a great actress.
I heard a story recently where a lady saw a little child in like period costume that kept like peeking out around a corner in a haunted house. And they were like, oh, that's really cool and creepy. But it's kind of upsetting that they have a child doing this. Because what if there's somebody like me, Lindsay, in there that's going to throat punch this child? So they went up to the management afterward and they were like, oh, I have some questions about that little girl. Like, it's a school night. Like, just, kind of Karen type questions. And they were like, there's no little girl. Like, yes, there was. She was wearing this. They're like,
gosh.
Come with me. And they literally took this person back to the like dressing area to see the whole cast. Where are they? Not there. It was a actual ghost.
That is a wild story.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
But it was in an actual haunted house.
My
Like a true former establishment or former home that was still active.
I do have a really cute story though, and this is about my mom.
Oh.
Yeah, so my mom, when I was a little girl, she turned our garage into the neighborhood haunted house.
That's the best.
I know. So on Halloween, and I remember helping her make it and act in it and all, and we peeled grapes so that kids could put their hands in and feel like their eyeballs and put out like wet spaghetti for brains and all this stuff. So my mom would make a haunted house, and she would take our garage and like hang black garbage bags to kind of separate like a way to walk through it. And then it was so cheesy. I mean, it was so because my mom is very Disney.
Yeah.
Kindergarten teacher, kind of like me. Like I got that from her. So it was probably the most darling haunted house.
Oh, of course. But little kids were probably really freaked in
little
the best
kids could
way.
Come. I hope it was a good way. She didn't do no jump scares, no blood.
Yeah.
Really cute. And I've always wanted to do that.
Like a little
with
creepy
yard.
house, not a scary
house.
house.
Yeah. And she didn't charge anything. And
we should do it sometime. Now that our kids are getting bigger, we could totally just do that to keep the magic alive for us.
I love that idea.
Because I love Halloween.
I've been wanting to teach my daughter and her friends the Thriller dance and then do a show in the neighborhood. So every 30 minutes.
Do you remember when I did that?
Did
you come to the one at the mall? South Sound Mall?
But they did a whole show, the Jeff Kingsbury thing.
I was in it.
Yeah, it was incredible.
That we did every 30 minutes. We did Thriller on the stage with the line wrapped around
We're talking about in Olympia. Our theater director had a haunted house that was fantastic. at the mall.
Yep, and they had a line that would wrap around like Disney style.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the middle of this line was a stage, and every 30 minutes we performed the Thriller. And we had the actual makeup artist from the Thriller video do our makeup.
Jeff Kingsbury, if you are listening, he's our theater director from when we were kids.
Yep.
I love you.
He lives in Montana now, I
I
believe.
absolutely love you. Thank you for everything you gave us.
Mm-hmm.
All the self-confidence and all the fun memories. And
Yep.
yeah, love him. Okay. We are going to learn today about America's most controversial haunted house.
Oh, shoot.
Called McKamey Manor. Have you heard of this?
I think so. Is this the one where you have to like sign your life away because you might truly die?
Yes.
Oh, for God's sake. What is wrong with people? I don't even know the details, and I can't wait to learn. But I've heard bits and pieces of this. There is something, you've got a sizable chunk missing from your brain to think this is entertaining, this is a good idea, this is a bonding thing to do with your buddies. Like, there's something wrong with you.
I totally agree with you. And I'm interested to hear what our scholars and listeners think after they hear the story, if they agree with you too.
Oh, God. It just makes me sick. But please, make me sick. I'm excited.
Here we go. You're going to get sick. First, we need to know about the man who came up with the concept.
Sicko number one.
Sicko numero uno.
Yeah.
His name is Russ Allen McKamey.
And he named the place after himself.
Of course he did.
Oh, God.
He is a U.S. Navy veteran. And he has a background in theater and entertainment.
That is a resume combo.
I know.
For the ages. Because we're talking highly trained, under duress, under stress. This is what you need to do. Also, probably has some PTSD from military service. Maybe not, but probably. But then has this theatrical background with special effects and storytelling. And that's a dangerous combination.
I think you're right. Yeah. And so he founded the attraction in 1989, first in San Diego, California.
Real place.
And initially the attraction was a free Halloween haunted house, and he just charged people donations of dog food for charity.
Oh, that's cool.
Or for his dogs, I don't know, but that's it.
His dogs are still eating well today. 1989 till today, they've got thousands of pounds of dog food. That's funny.
I know.
Hopefully he donated to shelter dogs. Let's go with that.
In 2015, he relocated to the secluded town of Summertown, Tennessee.
Ooh.
And it was, I don't know if it was because California was too expensive, which is what he claimed, or if he was trying to kind of
get away and
hide. Right, because
Tennessee, I imagine. I got a lot of stereotypes about Tennessee in my head. I have never been, but it's a lot of
yeah. Other than Nashville, I think Nashville is like
Nashville's cool.
I picture Nashville as a really cool city, and then the whole rest of the state just. Since I don't know anything about it, I just picture it as
no electricity, just zombies.
It's just like overgrown and
it's so unfair.
creepy.
I'm sure it's beautiful, but we got some backwards ideas down in that part of the country.
So Russ McKamey, he wanted to design an experience that he called a mental game or a survival boot camp. And he claimed that this experience would emphasize psychological manipulation without physical contact. But you're about to find out.
There was physical
There was
contact.
definitely physical contact.
Jeez. You had one rule! Oh my God, man! Oh, it reminds me of, I can't even watch that show, Fear Factor.
Oh,
They
this
have
is like
to,
Fear Factor to the
I
extreme.
know. I
yeah.
remember hearing but even on Fear Factor, where they just have to put their head in a plexiglass box and let like scorpions climb all over their head or something.
Yeah.
Like, and the lights are out, so you don't know what it is. You just know something's climbing out.
gross.
It's like, why?
I cannot put my hand in a box
And not know
like one
what's
of those,
in there.
like, oh my gosh, no.
Have you ever seen those funny videos where people have like pranked their parents? Oh my God, you should do it to Gabe and your kids. It's a riot. So you have a camera on one side of a box where that side of the box is open. Your family or friends are on the other side, so the camera can see what's inside the box. Your family cannot. And you just put something in there like a potato. And you just say, just put your hand in the box. Just put your hand in the box. I promise it won't hurt you, but just put your hand in the box. And the way people act like trying to
I wouldn't be able to do
make
it.
the
I wouldn't be able
decision,
to
and
do
then
it,
when they get
yeah.
in, they're like, ah! They're screaming, and everybody in the audience says it's a potato.
Oh, it's so funny. I want to do that for Mother's
We
Day.
should do it to kids.
Yeah.
At school.
At school?
Oh, I'd probably get in trouble.
You can't film it though.
Oh, that's true.
That'd be so funny though. Okay. Where were we? We learned about Russ McKamey.
Yeah, well, we're about to find out there is a physical contact component, you said.
Correct.
Bastard.
Now I'm going to tell you about the construction and the design. So the manor, McKamey's Manor, is not really a manor.
Shocking. It's garbage bags in a garage.
It is. It's a backyard. It's just a modest backyard with some minimalist buildings like sheds and a larger barn.
Doubly creepy.
Yeah,
that's way creepier than a manor.
I agree. I think he
should have just been like
genius.
2 sheds in a barn.
Yeah.
McKamey's 2 sheds in a barn. Like, that's way scarier than the McKamey's Manor. It's
so funny.
I'm not going there, not without a lot of weapons.
So the property, it blends into the Tennessee landscape. You wouldn't know that it was an attraction driving by.
That's even worse, because nobody's going to hear you scream. Nobody's going to know
Right.
if you go on like a whim on a weekend, like date night. You could just disappear. No one's going to know where you are.
That's why he moved to Tennessee, I think.
I like this guy. This guy's got some unresolved issues.
The entrance does have some rusted props and chains and dilapidated signs that foreshadow the terror inside, but it's not theatrical. It's not like a show. It's more like eerie in an overgrown yard with unsettling objects lying around.
Probably like much of Tennessee.
Like much of
I think the whole state is like Sanford and Sons. I'm so sorry,
funny.
Tennessee, but get it together.
I have a feeling you're loving this. And you're not hating it.
Stereotypes are based on truth. Okay, go ahead.
The inside of the barn building is reported to be overwhelmingly claustrophobic, dark, and decrepit. And also confusing, with a series of tight corridors, small rooms, and poorly lit spaces.
It's just an ocean nightmare. He probably doesn't have any employees.
He does. We'll get into that. He does.
Oh, gosh.
Well, volunteers.
Carnies. Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah, we'll get there, because that's a whole...
Yeah. People who volunteer to do that to other people.
Right?
Mm.
So the manor is
2 sheds in a barn.
2 sheds in a barn, divided into different rooms. Each one is tailored to shock and frighten participants in various ways.
Goody.
So some rooms resemble dark, dirty basements or old abandoned storage rooms, but there's also torture chambers, padded rooms, and rooms with water tanks.
Okay.
You could turn it into a bed and breakfast.
Delightful.
On the off season.
2 stars. Which it's shocking how scary just a simple basement is.
Yes.
You put an empty cement walled basement. It's a little dingy. Maybe it's got some watermarks on the wall and a wooden chair in the middle of that room.
That's creepy.
Absolutely terrifying.
That's creepy. I can picture like a million movies are kind of running through my head of what this looks like.
Nothing good happens in a basement.
No. Some of the rooms are filled with unsettling props. Like imagine a room filled with realistic mannequins, or a room filled with torture devices, or a room just filled with gruesome visuals.
Ew.
Yeah.
I remember in college, and there would always be some like fundamentalist Christian group that would have a haunted house that was all about
I went to one of
abortions.
those. It was supposed to like scare you into not committing what they considered sins.
Right.
I forget what they're called, but I've been to one.
It's like a thing. It's like I'm sure it's a company.
The weirdest thing so I went through it with some friends in college. I went through I don't even know what you call it. It's not a haunted house, but it's like a house of...
A house of what? I'm going to Google
a house of choices you're not supposed to make.
Right.
I don't know how else to say it. So you go through and there's all these actors who are like, suffering from...
a botched abortion.
Greed and gluttony and that kind of stuff. And then at the end, you don't exit the building. You purposely like finish the tour in a church room. That's where we ended up.
Yeah.
And then you had to do like someone was there giving you a sermon
Oh gosh.
and trying to get you to like
a hell house.
Yeah, they're
That's
called
what
a
they're
hell
called.
house. Trying to get you to, you know, talk with them and be like, well, I don't want to go to hell, so I will change my ways. Like, they won't let you leave until they get that out of you. They try to like kind of convert you right there in that room, and then you can go. It was a weird experience.
Yeah, there's a whole Wikipedia on it. The aim to educate visitors about the consequences of various actions, you nailed it, including those seen as sinful. So date rape, same-sex marriage, which date rape, I'm sure, was not about rape being the problem.
Probably about
it
the way
was
you
how
dress,
you dress,
how you talk,
going
ladies.
out, putting yourself in a situation of risk. Same-sex marriage, abortion, extramarital sex, drug use, and other actions considered sinful. Nothing to mention about like child abuse, sexual assault, murder. So crazy. To me, I just think that's nuts. But it was always free, so hey, free something to do with your friends and talk about for sure in college. I remember those. I don't think I ever went through one, but I remember them, and I just remember being like, you're out of your mind. I'm not going in there. Yikes. Okay, tangent.
It's okay.
Back to you.
McKamey Manor is designed so that you never feel safe or comfortable in any of the spaces. And reportedly, it cost over $500,000 for him to build this.
Oh, I was like, $500 a ticket. Do you know how much it costs for people to go?
It's free. You just bring dog food. It's free.
Still?
Yeah.
I thought that's how he started in San Diego.
I don't think he's allowed to charge. Because I think
he's not a business. He's just a... Okay, that's even... Come on. There's no end to the creepy.
Uh-huh. Would you want to go there?
No!
Is there anything that would get you to go there?
No. Not even all the free dog food. And I have 2 dogs. No. You don't have a business license. You want me to go into creepy ass places that probably just physically aren't even safe, let alone whatever psycho things you've got planned to entertain yourself and whoever else might be watching via video.
They do videotape the wall. Yeah, they videotape your experience.
No. No. That's wrong.
Well, we're not even done yet because there are actors that I believe
get off on touching people and scaring the poop out of them.
A lot of them are volunteers. There may be some paid people that work there, but the people that work there, volunteer there, they go through training by Russ. Russ does the training to torture, and they're expected to deliver a real performance at all times. They're not allowed to break. I don't know who would sign up for a job like this. I don't know where Russ found enough friends who are into this.
Do you get a safe word?
We're going to go into that.
Okay. Somebody's not going to abide by the safe word, I'm guessing.
What kind of person is attracted to this job?
Sadist. Someone who is like the dentist in Little Shop of Horrors. They get off on causing people pain. I'm sure that was a really cheesy example.
A great example.
But there are people who like to see people in pain. That's what a lot of serial killers are, and serial rapists is they have a sexual gratification from someone else's pain and terror.
Or even gratification from being in pain and terror, which I'm guessing
and that's a masochist.
Okay, so that might be the kind of people that this attraction attracts. What are you drinking?
It does have caffeine, but it's not the same. It doesn't have the same effect on me as coffee. It's green tea lemonade.
Okay, so if you hear ice.
Oh yes,
some delicious green tea.
Does it bug you like it does with chewing?
No, I just I was thinking the listeners would be like, what
oh
is
yeah,
that sound?
Sorry, it's me slurping down a. I did not have coffee this morning, so I'm not allowed to have coffee for a while until my body chills out. But I had to have something to just function. Okay, I'll try not to do that again.
You're fine. You're fine.
So yeah, there's sadists on the actor side, masochists on the attendant side, and people who just want to show off some macho-ness. Like, it's the same people who go on like Fear Factor or on these reality shows where you have to do death-defying stunts and they're constantly on TV. Constantly.
It does not appeal to me.
Hell no. There's usually running and swimming involved too, and that's the worst. I'd rather have scorpions on my head.
No,
Truly.
You wouldn't.
Yes, I would. I would rather have scorpions crawl on my head than like run, jump off a pier into the water and swim.
Oh, Lindsay, that's a hard this or that. I don't know that I would choose either.
I wouldn't choose either, but if you put me in the back of a van and drove me to Tennessee, I'm choosing the scorpions.
I won't do that to you. The haunted house is special, obviously.
It's just unique.
It's special because each experience is personally designed for the person who signs up to go. So the tour, they call it a tour, they design it, Russ McKamey designs it to last about 4 days. Yes. And the tour is tailored to your individual fears and phobias.
4 days?
Yes. Of enduring whatever he wants to plan for you. But here's the thing, Lynn.
What?
Yeah. So to get in, participants have to undergo an extensive screening process. Just to be chosen by Russ is a whole event, because the screening process can take 10 hours, and it includes a background check, a medical evaluation, and this 40-page waiver that I'm about to tell you about.
Holy crap. But no psychological evaluation.
It might be part of what he calls his medical evaluation.
Oh, okay.
But he won't.
I'm thinking that's got to be for like heart issues and stuff like that too.
Oh, right. He doesn't take just anybody, though. Even though it's free, you have to be chosen for the experience through this process, whatever this process is.
That's like signing up to be, because there's no oversight. He's not overseen by the government. He's not even a legit business. You can't call Better Business Bureau on this guy.
Right.
A Yelp review isn't going to make any difference if you're dead in his basement.
Right.
So you might as well just sign up to like go out to dinner with like Ed Gaines or Ted Bundy or like, because you don't know.
Right.
How do you know that this, what's his name, McKamey?
Russ McKamey.
That McKamey's not going to kill you.
I don't think you do know, and I think that's what people
part of
actually
the
sign
appeal?
up for. Which
That
I
you
don't
might not make it out alive, and so
I
you're just
guess.
testing your
limits, like whatever appeals to. I know that people like really. Some people want to be in like the Navy SEALs, and there's some kind of drive to like push themselves to the ultimate challenge. Maybe I think it appeals to someone like that, but I can't relate.
I was not reincarnated from any sort of like warrior mindset.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way.
Mm-hmm.
Either this is the first life, or I come from a long line of just big talkers.
You hear that, Papo? Mamo?
I mean, no offense, guys, but we're not warrior folk. We're not battle ready.
No.
That's just not. I don't come from that stock.
Nope, me either. I think my whole past lives or past relatives, we were like piano players, moms.
Yeah. We're soapboxers.
Yeah. Well, reportedly, Russ offers a $20,000 reward to anyone who can finish the experience. But no one has finished their full experience.
No, and he doesn't have $20,000. He's taking dog food as payment.
Exactly. So I think this is part of the marketing shtick, because Russ decides when you're done.
Desperate people too, who just happen to be physically fit.
Yeah. And then people will go and they'll be like, I can do it. I can make it through. They go to whatever mental place they need to for the 20 grand.
Yeah.
But Russ decides when you're done, and he'll kick you out when he's done having fun with you. And he may just kick you out before and say, you didn't make it. You're disqualified. You don't get the money. Like, he may just say it because he doesn't have the money.
Well, that's a sham. That's terrible.
I don't think the sham is the worst part of
what
he does to people.
Probably not. Okay, I'm just shifting my body position.
Shift your body. So we're going to shift into what would your personalized house, and I want all our listeners to think about it too. What would your personalized experience probably look like? Your personal hell.
Oh boy. Things touching me in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like. We're gonna make more Disney references. You remember the Bugs Life attraction?
I love the Bugs Life.
Where it goes like pss, pss, pss,
and it has
like blasts of air. I do not like that. Or you'll feel like a little skimmering across your back.
Yeah.
And I know that it's just the technology of the seat, but it just, I don't know what's coming, and so it just like the whole point is that it makes you jump.
Yeah.
And I don't care how old I am, I'm always gonna jump. So things touching me when I'm not ready for it. So then, like, in the dark. That
was a weird noise. It was like a helicopter, but only for a second.
That was a really weird noise. Sorry, everybody. Something behind the fence. Somebody's moving. Oh, it sounded like somebody like dragging a recycle bin across gravel real quick.
Yeah.
Like, my doors are locked. Yeah. Okay, we're good. And it's still daylight, so we're safe. So darkness touching me when I can't expect it. Anything that moves unnaturally, which I have talked about on the podcast before. So, may have started with what's her face from The Ring, but Samara from The Ring.
Yeah.
But anything that moves like all creepy and weird, I don't like that.
Well, what about pain? How are you with pain?
Oh, well, forget that. I mean, I don't even, that's another level. Like, I would never choose pain for entertainment. I mean, I get tattoos. And that pain it's painful, but it's also sort of satisfying, but it's like just at the edge.
Well, you get something nice out of it too. What do you get out of the
Nothing.
McKamey Manor?
Nothing.
A lost tooth, you lose
for
your teeth.
4 days.
And that's part of it. He'll feed you whatever he feels like feeding you.
What?
It could be dog food. It could be vomit. It could be...
No.
Yes. Whatever he feels like. Mud.
And you have to eat it?
Yeah, if you want to get your $20,000 and make it to the end.
That's effed up. That's not okay.
It's not even the worst of what we're going to get
Unbelievable.
into.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my brain doesn't go to the level that he goes, because there's like vomit would be another thing. Like people, I mean, if we're going to go to the extreme, like any bodily functions on me, no thank you. Definitely don't want to see, it'd be hardest for me to see somebody else be hurt. I would rather be hurt than watch somebody else be hurt.
And that is, people go in with partners. You can go in alone, or you can go in with a partner. And that's part of it, is watching what happens to your partner.
Nope. I'll ask my husband before I put this podcast together, but I watched my husband's vasectomy.
Oh, you did?
And that was awful, because they didn't do any anesthesia.
Oh, no.
That was the whole deal. That was the selling point, because he didn't want to have a needle in his junk.
Oh, no. But
you kind of need anesthesia when you're severing.
Oh, you might want to cut this out, but
I will.
That's...
They snap them with a rubber band and tell you that's going to be enough.
Come on. I don't
Dr. Snip.
Horrible.
Dr. Snip, yeah.
They don't even have like topical?
Nothing. And then he was like pounding the wall. Oh my gosh, and I just squeezed his hand.
Oh,
and then, it was bad. And then they like gaslit him for asking, like, can I have, like, should I take Tylenol? And they're like, you should be fine. And I'm like, it was awful. It was really, really bad. But then other people have gone to the same place before and since and had a lovely experience.
I think that sounds traumatic.
Yeah, it was.
Horrible.
So yeah, I would rather be hurt than watch somebody else be hurt.
Mm-hmm. For me, I have an extreme phobia of falling off something, like falling off a cliff, falling out of the sky, So I can't even go on. We have a beautiful mountain near us called Mount Rainier, and there's this gorgeous scenic drive up the mountain, but there's a part of it has no railing on the side.
And it's not even like the railing would prevent you from falling anyway, but it feels better. But I'm with you. I can't do it either.
I had, the last time I tried, my husband tried to make me, because he really likes it up there. I had a full-blown panic attack. I thought I was having a heart attack, and I was bawling, and I couldn't breathe, and there's nowhere to go. You can't turn around,
right?
Because the lane is so small. If you turn around, then you're gonna fall off the cliff. I just felt like I was gonna fall off the cliff the whole time.
No matter what, yeah.
And I trust him driving, but I didn't trust him, like, just because of my phobia, I think. And it was horrible. It was horrible. And then we got up to the top, and I'm crying. I'm a mess, and I'm like, I want to go home. And he's like, well, we're here now, so I'm gonna go on he wasn't as sensitive as I would have preferred, I guess. And then we had to drive back so we could get out of there. I feel like crying just thinking about it. So that's my phobia. And I think that if I went to this McKamey house, all they would have to do is like put me on top of the barn and push me.
Yeah, just a little shove.
Just that falling feeling, yeah, I think would do me.
I'm the same way, like with like cliff edges or whatever. Like I don't want to get anywhere like 40 feet from the edge, as close as I'm willing to get. And watching other people, I freak out with other people. Get back! I'll start like freaking out, like get back!
Right.
And then of course they make fun of me or whatever, tease me. But
why do we tease each other for?
because they feel safe. Like, they want to go to the edge. And I'm like, seriously, people die like this. People die taking a selfie next to Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
People die. Like, do we have to get that close? I could see it from here.
Stop teasing people for just
Being
caring about
afraid.
you. Or
Yeah.
just caring. Like,
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah. We're not freaking out because we want to freak out. We are freaking out because it's really upsetting us.
Right. Like, not only would I have fallen off the cliff, but my whole family would have come with me, right? And
Right. And I know people personally. I know one person who was on a simple hike that they did all the time and they died. A dad and his son watched. And I know somebody else who, and it wasn't even like a fall. It was they slid down this rock slide thing and were basically like just internally crushed. And then another kid the same kind of thing just happened recently. A brother of one of my daughter's friends had the same experience recently. He's lucky to be alive. And so things happen, horrendous things happen in really benign situations. So when I know I'm in a precarious situation, don't gaslight me into thinking I am a hypochondriac or a fool or something for being unnerved by that.
Right. Yeah.
You don't do that to your people. Cool. If they're upset, believe
Not to your loved ones.
No.
Okay. McKamey Manor's waiver. We're going to talk about the waiver now.
40 pages.
40-page waiver. It's infamous for its, what is that like? Not just famous. He's
infamous, which means more than famous.
Not from the Three Amigos.
Three Amigos. Yep.
It's infamous for its extensive and intense list of conditions. Now I'm going to read you some of the wildest and most extreme things in the waiver. Ready?
People just probably don't believe that any of it would actually happen.
Or I don't know. Maybe, I don't know if they're...
Or do you think they want it to?
Or then maybe they want it to.
Ugh. It's even weirder.
That's a weird
people
conversation.
Are weirdos. I mean, I've got some students who they're little tiny weirdos. They'll sign that waiver.
That's funny. Okay, number 1. This is not in the order but these are like some of the highlights.
Okay.
Risk of death, obviously.
Sure.
The waiver explicitly states that participating in the experience could result in serious injury or even death, and participants must accept this risk.
I'm out.
Number 2.
I'll go to an escape room. Like, this is silly.
Right. It is, well, to us, it's silly. Number 2, physical harm and torture.
Nope.
It warns that participants may be subjected to physical abuse, including being choked, punched, slapped, and restrained, while agreeing to allow the use of force. Lindsay's like,
this sounds like you are literally signing away to potentially be tortured and murdered. Like,
right.
Okie dokie.
You are. That's what it says. This is a contract. As far as I know, no one's been murdered, but there have been really serious things that have happened. You're right. We don't know.
Wow. Okay.
Number 3, psychological stress. It acknowledges that the experience could cause significant mental distress, including psychological trauma and panic attacks.
Goody. Okay.
Number 4, involuntary acts. The waiver states that participants may be forced to perform acts against their will, including possibly consuming unusual or unpleasant substances or being exposed to various humiliating situations. Like having all their clothes ripped off or something.
A strip search kind of thing.
Yeah.
Gross. That's really disturbing.
The whole thing's gross and disturbing. Number 5. You asked about this earlier.
He's a demon. Like, there's something wrong with this guy.
There's something definitely wrong with him.
I don't like it. It gives me the...
This is not normal, for sure.
Oh, man.
Number 5. You asked about this earlier. There is no safe word.
What?
Well, there is, but participants are given a safe word, but the waiver states the safe word does not guarantee the end of the experience.
Well, then what the frick is the point of a safe word?
And may not be honored immediately or at all. Right.
Then that's not a safe word.
Right. It's all meant to terrify you. Russ decide, you can use the safe word all you want and they'll film it and they'll enjoy you using it, but they decide when they're done.
And they've once you use a safe word, they've already disqualified you, and they're going to keep going anyway.
Exactly. So they'll keep going for a bit, then they'll disqualify you, and then you don't get your $20,000.
Unreal.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me angry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. They sign up for it. These are consenting adults.
Correct.
But I just think, consenting or not, he's capitalizing on people's gaping holes in life satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's wrong. I think that is a moral vacuum that he is living in, and I don't like that. I don't like that he was allowed to get away with it. Tennessee. California wouldn't put up with that shit.
That's probably why I had to leave California. They're like, this is not ethical.
They got laws.
Number 6, waterboarding and drowning risks. Some participants have reported being waterboarded, submerged underwater, or forced to drink excessive amounts of water, and the waiver highlights these extreme practices.
Okay, and people are like, okay, next. Initial here.
Yeah. Number 7, injury or illness. The waiver requires participants to disclose any pre-existing medical conditions, and it disclaims liability for any resulting injuries, illnesses, or exacerbation of those conditions.
Wow. They hold no responsibility for
none. The whole waiver is just like, we are not responsible.
We're going to do whatever we want
anything.
to you, and you have no legal repercussion. Like, there's no legal
Correct.
ramifications for it.
Correct. And that's number 8, and the last one here, no legal recourse. By signing, participants waive the right to sue McKamey Manor for any damages, including physical or emotional harm, no matter the cause.
You're an idiot.
It gives them way too much freedom
to
do whatever.
100% total freedom. Is there a part where somebody actually successfully sues them, or takes them
There's an attempt.
Okay.
There's an attempt that I'll cover at the end. But
okay.
yeah.
Wow.
I'm surprised there's not more, for sure.
Yeah. But I guess, they've signed everything, so.
Signed everything away. And it's just a whole contract that says that McKamey Manor can cross all ethical and legal boundaries. You're just giving them permission to do whatever. And they do.
Wow.
Okay, we're going to move into what the participants endure in some testimonials. Okay. Are you ready for this
I think so. I hope so.
The experience can be described as intense in all capital letters. Participants are subjected to various forms of psychological and physical challenges. They could be confined in small spaces. They could have animals put on them. People have left with missing teeth, broken bones, shaved heads, and more. A lot. Yeah. You could have your tooth pulled out while you're in there. You could just pull out your tooth. You could break a bone. You could shave your head. You've signed it away.
My gob could not be smacked any harder.
Lindsay's gone to Shockland. Yeah.
I just don't. There's a part of it that breaks my heart as a mom, thinking, what happened to my baby that they would choose to undergo this? Like, I'll give you $20,000. I don't know how I'd get it right away, but if you need $20,000, I will give you $20,000. I'll sell my own teeth and my own hair before I would let you ever sign up to do something like this. Like, what happened to you? That would be, as a parent, what happened to you that this is something you would pursue?
That's a really great thought.
Can you picture your child?
Oh my gosh. No.
There's no way. I would kill Ed McKamey before I would stand by and watch my kid go through something like this. By choice or by force. No. Get your little ass in the car. I don't care how old you are. We're going home. Why did you come to Tennessee to begin with?
That was your first
Did you go to
mistake.
Nashville for a wild weekend and take a wrong turn? Get your ass in the car.
I love it. It's true though. Like, what
I can't imagine being a mom of someone who would put themselves through this. Like, I'd be like, what did I do wrong?
Right?
Where did we go wrong that there's something, a chip missing, that they are seeking fulfillment out of something like this?
This is the whole question of this episode. Like, who are these people who either work there or participate in it? because I don't think we're going to get an answer to that question. I don't think
Right.
that you and I can even get close to putting ourselves in the mindset of either of those people.
Man. Okay, keep going.
Okay, testimonials. Laura Hertz Brotherton. She went and she described she was subjected to waterboarding, tasing, and other forms of physical and psychological stress. And she reports after she used her safe word, staff continued for several minutes before they stopped.
Several minutes? That's an eternity when you're being tortured to the point of a
and
safe
you're using
word.
your safe word.
Oh, that's wrong.
I don't have this person's name. This was on Reddit, but I have the other names of testimonials. So this person says, I went through boarding. What's waterboarding?
You have to stand with your hands on your hips and go, yes, water!
That's so awesome. Okay, I went through waterboarding. I was blindfolded, and a man had their hand on the back of my neck holding me down. Once I was out of air and gagged, they let me up, and it just kept doing that. After that, I was taken to what looked like a barn, and I was put into a smelly, deep freezer. I had my wrists and ankles tied together, thrown on the ground, covered with mud and rocks. I was touched with what he said was a cattle prod.
Ow.
But I was blindfolded, so I can't confirm. It was definitely intense. He says, however, I can disassociate rather easily, so that was my approach. Russ...
Well, what happened to you?
Right? He says, I can disassociate easily. Russ didn't like that very much, so he disqualified me after 5 hours. Because he wasn't getting the reaction he wanted from this guy who's disassociating.
What else are they supposed to do, dude?
Scream
That's
and
what
cry.
people do in traumatic situations. Like, I learned how to do that in a traumatic situation. I guarantee it.
Right. Well, Russ decides when it's over, so Russ is probably
I hate Russ.
You're boring me, and he disqualified him.
I hate him.
But Russ is going to disqualify.
He's a cheater.
Yeah, he's going to disqualify everybody because I don't think he has the $20,000. Okay, Amy Milligan. I have 3 more of these, by the way. Amy Milligan was shoved, dragged by her hair, blindfolded, slapped, and soaked with cold water. And she was there with another person, so another victim, and they were forced to make animal noises and spun around until they threw up. Like, put in some device where they just spin until you throw up.
Well, it wouldn't take
me that long.
Put me on an office chair and spin me around about 4 times and I'm done.
She said they covered them in what they thought was fake blood, but who knows, dirt and other substances that looked gross. So they don't know what the other substances were. And then they put live roaches all over their face and hair. Milligan said one of the worst parts was when they tied her hands and forced her to lie in a pool of water with a cage over the top. And she said her head was submerged under the water with the cage several times, and she truly thought she was going to drown. She told them she couldn't breathe, and they would laugh and do it more.
Wow.
You're not usually silent. Like, I wasn't sure how you would react to this story.
These people are evil.
Yeah.
They found a loophole in the law that allows them to do the worst kinds of things to people.
Like creepy, illegal, dark web.
Now, you got to give me a trigger warning here. Is there anybody do they commit sexual crimes or force people to do sexual acts?
Possibly.
Oh, God. Okay.
I don't think that's super common, but when we get down to the end and I talk about legal stuff, it's going to come up.
Okay.
But at the same time, I didn't see a ton of reports about it.
Okay.
So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Would not surprise me one bit.
They are touched, though. They're touched everywhere. We got 2 more of these.
Okay.
An employee. This one's interesting because it's an employee. Her name was Mercedes Ann, and she started volunteering there at 13, but she got hired at 15, which in Tennessee.
On, though.
She had her lifeguard license and basic first aid training.
Okay.
So this 15-year-old lifeguard is their nurse.
How many times did she have to save a life?
She did.
People are being drowned every day. Oh, got another waterboarding. Whoops, went too far.
Right.
Ignored the safe word.
And what does this 15-year-old really know about? She's not a paramedic.
That's
She's not
why
a nurse.
they picked a 15-year-old.
Right. Isn't that wild? So Mercedes Ann says that I was seeing people come out shaking uncontrollably. One guy, it looked like his nose was broken. Another burst a blood vessel in his eye. It was full of blood. People would have psychotic breakdowns. That's the only time they would stop the tour. And they would bring them to me to calm them down.
Let's take you to the babysitter. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Here they are. Unreal.
She says we didn't get paid or anything.
There's no child labor laws. They still work in the mines down there. Unbelievable. I can't even that poor kid. I feel bad for her too.
I feel terrible for her.
She's a victim as well.
She is. Just like you were talking about, you wouldn't let your babies go to the experience. I wouldn't let my kids work there.
No. Gross.
Last one. Chris Smith. Chris was a friend of Russ McKamey and volunteered for his experience.
Okay.
And Chris went through the experience to see what it was like as a guest. So he started out as a friend of Russ and volunteered at the place, but then he was like, I'm going to try it out. So Russ creates this event just for his friend Chris.
Wow.
Chris says...
That ain't your friend.
I know. Chris says, he gave me threats of being buried alive. I got lowered into a well 10 feet in the ground that was filling with water. And I was made to unlock padlocks with combination codes.
This is the Houdini scene?
The Houdini scene or the escape room scene.
What?
And Chris, who's talking to his friend here, remember this is his friend, he would say, I'm done for the night. I'm tired. I want to be done. And McKamey would say, I'm always going to know when to stop. Don't worry about it. And then Chris Smith was put in a trough and Russ started shoveling dirt on him over and over again. Like he's burying him alive. And Chris Smith is like waving his hand like out of the dirt saying, I quit, I'm done. But Russ did not stop and said he would continue the tour as long as he's having fun, as long as Russ is having fun. And that's the end of their friendship.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Mm-hmm. Which is wild to me because Chris was volunteering there and he was a friend. So he'd been hearing these stories. He'd been doing this to other people. But suddenly he has it happen to himself.
Oh, well. Empathy is a strong thing, but it doesn't match up to actually being in the situation yourself for a little sympathy.
I would never do any of these things to you, by the way.
Well, thank goodness for that. All of a sudden, my car starts filling with water. What's your safe word, Lindsay?
Here's your directional lock. Those directional locks at escape rooms that we do are so hard.
They're terrible. I have a Breakout EDU whole set that I got from the Teacher Innovator Institute. So they hooked us up with a year-long subscription to Breakout EDU Plus. All the boxes in every single lock, and the directional lock is the hardest.
It's the one that gets you every
time.
I
temperamental.
Believe it. That is funny.
And if you're nervous or stressed, like there's no way you're going to be exactly. Right. It's really hard.
We're due for another escape room, though.
We are. They have a new one in Gig Harbor.
We're going.
I think it's a little scary, but not as scary as the one. But it is it's a thriller.
Not doing the cabin one.
It's similar, but I don't think it's as scary.
Okay, no live action.
My daughter wants to do it with us too.
Okay.
That's the caveat. No live actors.
No live actors for
me.
I think that really freaks me out.
I'll find out.
All right. McKamey, we're almost done. We're going to talk about the lethical... The
lethical issues.
I'm getting tired. We're going to talk about the legal and ethical controversies.
Okay, I'm going to drink some... I'm getting dry mouth. Hold on.
Do it. Take a big chug of that.
Don't waterboard me with my lemonade.
Okay, legal actions. You asked if legal actions. In July 2024, and I don't know how it took this long for a legal action to happen. July 2024, McKamey was arrested on charges of domestic assault, rape, and second-degree murder.
Rape? Well, there we go.
Yeah, rape, second-degree murder. However, all the charges were dropped in September of 2004. So he was only arrested, what is that, July to September? It's like 2 months.
4 months. July, August, yeah.
I don't know how he got out of that and convinced the person to drop the charges.
Well, threats.
Because they'd signed everything away.
Yeah, I mean Tennessee, and I'm guessing a lot of states. You sign it, I mean, they literally had, there's nothing, no wiggle room. It's
None.
Carte blanche.
It's very clear, this 40-page contract. They were under investigation with the Tennessee Attorney General. He initiated an investigation into the manor's practices, raising concerns about consumer protection laws and the nature of the attraction.
But they're not paying anything.
They're not paying anybody. They don't charge anything. They're
not paying taxes.
They've got this contract signed. I don't know what you can do.
Yeah. I think they made it so that they can just enjoy their sick, twisted ways and capitalize on or take advantage of people who need mental health care.
Right, yeah.
There's something amiss if this is something you pursue.
Right. Oh, the town, the area, they're not having it. And they had a petition calling for the closure of McKamey Manor, and it got almost 200,000 signatures.
Good.
The critics, like on the petition, they labeled it as a torture chamber under disguise. Which it is. It absolutely is.
Yep. Good for them.
In conclusion,
my faith is mildly restored in Tennessee.
Good. A few points for you, Tennessee. Yep. In conclusion, McKamey Manor stands as a testament to the extremes some are willing to endure in the name of entertainment. And while it continues to operate, it's crazy.
What? It still is an operation?
It continues to operate. It remains a subject of intense debate regarding the boundaries of consent, safety, and ethical entertainment.
Is it still in Tennessee?
I heard that they have like 2 locations now or something, but check it out. McKamey. Oh, I can't look online.
I got it on my phone here. So it says, first sentence is, it was an American torturer haunted house attraction.
Maybe it is closed.
The original one shut down in 2015, blah, blah, blah. 2017, open in Tennessee.
I had 20.
Oh, and then they had a separate location open in Huntsville, Alabama the same year.
Yes.
The house operates with an S year-round, offering visitors tours that in some iterations can last up to 36 hours and in other iterations up to 10. Let's see.
But it would go longer. I mean, that's just the length that someone has made it, right? 36 hours is maybe the longest somebody's made it, but I'm sure Russ has planned for more. Because nobody ever wins this. I know. Well, you can add any final thoughts to my story today, but I'm going to give people their homework. So scholars, your homework is to tell us what your personalized haunted house or horror house would be.
We have no plans to
we won't tell Russ
and make it happen.
We're just curious.
Yeah, for sure. What would yours be? You didn't say. You said driving along an edge or falling.
Falling off, just falling. What else? And being murdered in a haunted house or being stabbed or something. So that's easy.
Yeah.
Calling for help and no one coming. I'm trying to think, I don't know. Everything scares me. I wouldn't make it 10 minutes in there. I would not. Mm-mm. Anything that he throws at me, I'm not up for.
They're still open. But they can't spell survival right. Survival. SURIVIAL horror challenge. Spell things right.
They don't have to, though. They're not a business.
You have to be screened via Facebook, FaceTime, or phone. You have to have proof of medical insurance.
Yeah. It's a whole thing.
Pass a drug test. Sports physical. Wow. They haven't updated their website since 2023. Here they spell survival.
They must have other jobs.
Now they got theater spelled wrong.
They can't spell their websites.
Golly, that makes me even more mad. That's part of my torture. Bad spelling.
They have to have other jobs because you can't live on. This is like their hobby. It's like their hobby fun thing.
Well, he's retired military, yeah, so he's getting retirement.
He gets retirement.
He looks like
it's creepy.
Mitch Hedrum. Mitch.
Yes.
What was that?
Mitch Hedrum.
You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. He does look like that with the blonde crew cut.
Yeah, he ain't right, but he likes a little karaoke.
But he can do all this. Nobody can stop him. And this is America. This is America.
Wow.
You want to give a final thought or anything before we close it out?
Like, you can find joy in positive things. Like, Russ, you started out with a good thing with that dog food, unless it wasn't for a shelter and it was just to feed your contestants, which is what I'm starting to think is probably the case.
Right, me too.
So I'm sorry for whatever happened to you and to your contestants that make you feel like this is how to find fulfillment in life, but please get help. Yeah. More karaoke, less horror show.
I totally agree.
It's just going to send them. It makes me sad.
Yeah, it makes me sad too. I'm just going to send everybody some
positive juju. Yeah,
some energy, love. Hope things get better for you, because it sounds like your situation is not good.
That's bizarre. I'd love to know if we have anybody listening that would do it, like, that would truthfully be like, oh yeah, sign me up.
Okay, you want to close it up?
All right. Drop us a line at theparanormalclassroom@gmail.com or on our socials on Facebook, Instagram, and Blue Sky even at The Paranormal Classroom.
Class dismissed.
And don't open the door. Here's a little voicemail from Chicago Mark about our Rosetta Stone episode.
I have a couple comments, have a couple thoughts. I actually have a lifetime membership to the Rosetta Stone app. Do you think I've learned any words, let alone languages? No. So I think that answers your question. Why did it take them so long to crack the code? 22 years-ish? Probably because they just didn't take the time to do it. Like I haven't taken the time to actually sit down and learn a language. Anyway, those are my thoughts. And also, I always pictured the Rosetta Stone as a giant ruby-colored, multifaceted, perfectly cut gemstone, like an idiot. So anyway, love you guys. Bye.